Thank you, everyone. So, hi. Thanks again for inviting us, YouthMappers, to talk about our initiatives and our projects within the network. So, uh, next, please. So, I'll be talking about who am I, and how I became involved in the chapter or in the YouthMappers and OpenSeatMap community. And since we do a lot of mapping, so why did I or how did I get into geography, and who contributed to the learnings that I've gathered or that I learned all throughout the years. So next slide. So again, let me formally introduce myself. So I'm Feye. You can just call me Feye. And I earned my master's and bachelor's degree from in geography from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. And I currently work as a junior managing research specialist in the UP Resilience Institute. It's also housed under the University of the Philippines in Diliman. And I also currently teach GIS elective or mapping elective in De La Salle University, also in Manila. And I currently serve as a regional ambassador for YouthMappers and also a volunteer of OpenSeatMap Philippines. So it sounds very professional and very formal, right? But I like to introduce myself more and want to be honest with you because I want to share the realities behind myself or other students that also take geography, and emphasize that taking this path is not very smooth and very easy. So a few people know about this, but as a child, I wanted to be a computer scientist. And I've always liked the idea of building tools and technologies for social change or simply automating everything because manually doing the processes or the techniques are quite boring. And so we like to automate those things. And next. But after getting into college or into the university, I was not given or easily given the opportunity to pursue computer science. So I had to take geography because it has a lower grade requirement, and so I took it. So as I immersed myself into the course in University of the Philippines, I appreciated the beauty behind of the science behind it of geography and realized that there's an intersection between geography and computer science. And it allowed me to use my programming skills in developing and implementing GIS related projects. And so all this frustration of becoming a computer scientist slowly turned into a passion. And this passion is about helping people using open mapping and also community outreach or community building. So this path opened doors to a wide variety of opportunities. And so I become part of the OpenSeatMap Philippines since 2013, and we've been teaching different stakeholders, students, communities on how open mapping tools such as OpenSeatMap, QGIS, Python can be used to further develop or enhance the capabilities of those communities. And yeah, my passion for geospatial analysis and GIS became stronger when I volunteer for this communities like OpenSeatMap and also in YouthMappers. So through the years I learned that I like teaching different stakeholders, especially the younger students and women volunteers, because it gives me a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. So next slide, please. So before I delved into YouthMappers, let me just share a few projects that I worked on. So the first one is NOAA website. So this one it also uses OpenSeatMap data, and it is geared to allow users to be more informed and better prepared to deal with hazards that may affect their living and working areas. So in this website, our team modeled and simulated different hazard maps such as floods, landslides, and storm surges, and display it on a website that can be accessed by different stakeholders, including the general public. And we also aim to provide a risk assessment that aim to provide or help communities to prepare for certain disasters. And we use OSM data or OpenStreetMap data contributed by YouthMappers volunteers or YouthMappers members so that we can know which communities can be affected by certain hazards. And then the NCOV PH, this was developed also by our team to provide the UP community and also the general public with vital information to fight COVID-19. So again, we use OpenStreetMap data in order to analyze which communities are most likely to be affected by a pandemic, since we noticed that if communities are more diverse or more dense, then it becomes the risk for pandemic or the risk for the COVID-19 virus is most likely high. And then we also developed, I was affiliated with a startup company before called Sakay.ph. So this provides the best commute directions in metro cities in the Philippines. So again, it is also based on OpenStreetMap data. And this allows us to know which directions to take for a certain given 2 points. And yeah, since I became part of these types of communities, my passion in open mapping and community building became deeper, and it grows through time. So next. So since 2018, I've become part of the YouthMappers community or the network. So YouthMappers, if you're not yet aware of it, it's an international consortium of university-level student mapping clubs or organizations with local chapters in universities of various countries. So as of this year, we already have over 300 chapter universities or chapter members across the world. And I think as of last year, more than 50% or 40% of the community members or the student members are women. So we're happy to share that, because in this kind of community, we know that most of the members of the community are male. So we're happy that it's continuously growing, and we've been supporting these students, such as providing programs such as Everywhere She Maps, so that we can also build the data related to women and also build the skills of women in terms of the leadership and training related to open mapping. Next slide. And in YouthMappers, we've been utilizing a lot of OpenStreetMap data, open mapping tools such as QGIS, Rapid Editor, Mapillary, and so on. And since OpenStreetMap is also like this community, it's also a community of communities. So YouthMappers is one of the communities that contribute to the map data of OpenStreetMap. And we're happy to share that almost 16, I think 16 million plus buildings have been contributed or added to OSM by the YouthMappers members. And aside from that, we also added roads and amenities or points of interest that can be used by different stakeholders. And next slide. Here, this is some rough statistics about the contributions of YouthMappers since our formal establishment in 2016, around 2016, 2017. And as you can notice, in Asia, Asia is one of the regions where it has the highest contributions, especially from the Philippines, from Nepal, from Bangladesh, since a lot of active community volunteers and also active mappers are present in these regions or countries. So more data are added to OpenStreetMap over time. And as we are also exposed to different hazards, I think the students are able to see the importance of contributing to open data to be able to, for it to be able to use by different communities as well for their own productive or consumption as well. So aside from all of these contributions, we've been publishing different works. So in fact, last year we've published an open access book. So this is that on the left side of the slide. So it's called Open Mapping Towards Sustainable Development Goals. And a lot of chapters or chapter universities have contributed contributed to it by sharing their stories on how they leveraged open data or open seat map data into addressing the different sustainable development goals. So in Asia, we have a specific chapter, which I also co-wrote, about building resilient communities in Asia. So we addressed the challenges in health, especially during the pandemic, and also uh, addressing the goals or the sustainable development goals related to disasters also. And then in the right side, this one is in Quezon City, Manila. So this is one of the few projects that I've also led in 2020. So since Philippines was highly hit by the pandemic, so OSM has been essential to that. So we added the building footprint, since we know that these are the potential areas or the locations of the houses of the communities that might be affected by the pandemic. So a lot of volunteers, I think this is are the numbers. So 317,000 building footprints were added to the data of OSM, and around 600 volunteers participated in this initiative. So this data was used by the government of Quezon City in Manila to be able to know what kind of community quarantine they have to be implemented to for that specific local government unit. And on the right, so we also travel a lot as a community or as a network, since we've been trying to propagate the message of YouthMappers, or the mission of YouthMappers, to use OSM data for different types of applications. So in OpenStreetMap community, we have this annual conference called State of the Map. So it's just a conference that celebrates open mapping or open street map data, and YouthMappers has been supporting this annual conference. And as I work with different people in the field, I also realized that it's important to have empathy and equity, since we must be reminded that not all people have access to the same treatment and opportunities. That's why we also have to understand that some advantages from others may be a barrier from others. So it's important to recognize these unconscious biases and overcome and challenge them by creating a safe space for everyone. So in Youth Mappers, we also ensure that everyone is seen, everyone is having their own contribution, not just in mapping, but also in community outreach and activities. And I became part of this initiatives through the support of these individuals and also this organization. So a lot of thanks to Youth Mappers for shaping me or guided me all this year. So that's it for my presentation. Thank you.